All right. I'm praying that I'm not widescreen today. Let me see. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, I finally figured out the settings. You should be 1080p today. I think you should be 1080p. I think I finally figured it out. Good morning, everyone. Larry, what's going on, man? Hopefully everything's going well. Seems like you're in a good mood. That's good to see. Throw me out of the room. All right. Welcome back, everyone. You can count my pores. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Why do you figure out the settings and not me? I know. All right. Well, it's looking like an interesting morning. That's for sure. Definitely some pretty clean technical holds going on this morning on the NASDAQ ES. Looking really good on my AMD trade. I'm liking the Tesla action. So today I don't want to jinx it, man. I don't want to jinx it, but it's starting to look like it could, that Tesla idea is starting to come to fruition. But there's still a brick wall right above me at 258, 260. It's right here. There's still a brick wall here at this 258, 260. But man, have I been... I made a video about that Tesla idea maybe last week, 2 weeks ago, and I haven't forgotten about it. I've been keeping money in that trade, so we'll see, man. We'll see what happens here, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Yeah, very true, Larry. I hope I'll give you a prayer, man. I hope everything's all right. Hopefully everything turns out to be okay. Welcome back, everyone. Another day in the live stream. I'm excited, man. I got a lot of big plans for this live stream. I got a lot of big ideas. It just feels like I'm in, I don't want to do anything yet. It feels like that new year will be the time to sort of roll out all these ideas I have. But I got some big ones. I want to, make everything a little bit better. Also, I think I'm going to do possibly a 12, like a noon, 1 p.m. stream to sort of review my trades every day. Maybe add that because I found that my 12 to 1 o'clock hour is pretty slow, and I have some opportunity to do something. So that's another idea. So some ideas, man. Hopefully you guys are game planning for your new year. It's always an exciting time to make new goals, find new things to do, new ways to grind. Yeah, that's definitely on my mind right now. So welcome back. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Yesterday, pretty shit day for me yesterday. Not gonna lie, I just couldn't get a good read on the move. I was correct in my futures analysis during the day. I was correct by not trying to short into the move that we saw. I was correct by staying on the right side of the market during pretty much the hold all intraday yesterday. But I just couldn't find a good entry. I just was not able to get myself a really good entry that really continued. And that is very characteristic of the choppy conditions that we saw pretty much the first, I would say, 2 to 3 hours of the market yesterday, right? You got a big push later in the day. You got that squeeze later in the day. But I wasn't around for that. I was just holding some swing trades, which was great for me. But my intraday trades were not great. They were quick losses, all within the risk tolerance, which I'm happy about, right? That's always key. Keep it within your risk tolerance. Make sure you take that loss. It's going to happen, right? Yesterday, early morning, was a very difficult move on the futures, very choppy. I stuck to my gun. I took my loss and I moved on. So that was my day yesterday. You guys probably saw it on X or on Instagram. I posted it there. Today, hoping for a better day, right? I think I've already made back my entire loss here this morning with the swing trade, so I'm happy about that. As long as everything maintains where it is right now, we shall see. And if it goes higher, great, and it's pure profit for me. So right now I have a Tesla swing trade and an AMD swing trade. Those are the two positions I'm in right now. I'm in Tesla longs. I'm in AMD longs. AMD was a sick one from yesterday. This was right here. That 141 retest was our entry point. I entered right here around 130 on a retest of this 141 demand. Took my longs around this area and just looked for that upside continuation. Using 141 as my stop loss. And that thing just ripped, man. That thing ripped. And we'll review that trade here today in the live stream. Of course, we'll go over AMD. So let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks again for being here. If you guys could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're here every single day starting at 8 a.m. And we will be here every single day starting at 8 a.m. for a very long time. And I'm getting excited, man, because I got a lot of big plans. I want to try to juice it up. Always looking for ways to improve. That's the key. Got to keep things fresh. What's your secrets in trading psychology? Honestly, guys, trading psychology is about being there, experiencing it, and knowing what really hurts you inside. That's the truthful answer. Trading psychology is about going through the shit, knowing what you're doing wrong, and knowing what it feels like when you've been there, and then your body naturally teaching you to not do those things again. And it takes a long time. Trust me, I talked to the group about this a lot. I have been there, right? If you don't think I have been through some really dark days of some really stupid decisions, trust me, I've been there. Trust me. And just after, so many years of making those idiotic trades, those idiotic risk tolerance decisions, taking, too many contracts, swinging an entire position, swinging, zero DTE contracts overnight, thinking that I'm some kind of Nostradamus, someone that knows what's going to happen. After all those idiotic things, you start to learn. You start to have a mind shift. Yeah, like a mindset shift, like what Billy says. You start to, all right, how about we just focus on being as cautious as possible, right? As protective as possible, and accept, and really have that mind shift, that mindset shift of you're not here to go balls to the wall every day and try to, become some kind of millionaire overnight. It's just it's a long road, man, and it's not something I can teach you in one live stream. It's not. It's not something I can teach you in one live stream, but I can try to tailor your mindset to risk management and to protecting and to, hey, if you're about to swing something overnight, right, and you're gonna sort of think about it. If you're gonna think about I have a Tesla position overnight, it's gonna be tough for me to sleep tonight. I have 50% of my portfolio in this position. It's the little decisions like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that. Some people will just go with it. They'll hope for the best. Oh great, Tesla swing trade. I'm in 50% of my position or my portfolio. I'm gonna run with it. It could be a really awesome day yesterday, a really big win tomorrow if Tesla gaps up. And it's the little decisions like that where you say, hey, you know what? Maybe I just go down to one contract instead. Maybe I don't risk my entire portfolio overnight. Maybe my position sizes should be 1 contract instead of 10 on my $5,000 account. Right? It's those little decisions like that which are very hard for you at times because of your greed. And it's human nature. Right? Don't let anyone tell you that they have not done that, because that is human nature, and we are all humans. At least I think we are. And it is going to happen. So that's my answer for you, man. It's those little things. It's the taking the greed out. It's the realization that it's the realization that you want to try to be here for a long period of time to learn, rather than just try to make thousands of dollars overnight. You know, it's those a little mind shift change. All right, let's get started. So, economic calendar, as we talked about, focus on learning the skill, not making the money. Absolutely, plug. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I tell the group a lot. If you're trading with $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 account, even up to $5,000 account, I mean, you could do it, right? You could absolutely make a good amount of money doing that if you're fucking just precise, right? Just perfect at all times. But I think if you're a newer trader, you have less than 5 years of experience, maybe 2 years of experience, I think your goal should be to learn. I think your goal should be, whatever account you're trading in, your goal should be break even. Let me go break even on this account, and let me just have years of experience of learning how to trade. And then eventually, I think once you actually learn that skill, understand what you're doing, you can really fund yourself. I know everyone gets into trading because they think they're going to own a Lamborghini by tomorrow. Right? That's why everyone wants to get into trading. I look at trading a lot different. I look at trading as I can learn a skill that no matter where I am, at what age, no matter what, I can make money. I can put money in my pocket, right? I don't really care about the money right now. I'm just trying to really educate myself and really just lock in the ability to trade the market successfully, because I know long term that skill will be an unlimited ATM, right, for me, no matter what the money is. That's how I think of trading. So, anyways, enough of my tangent. It's time to move on. Hopefully that helps a little bit in your mindset shift to stop being a greedy stop being a greedy piece of shit, and just start trying to learn, right? Start trying to actually learn what you're doing. All right. So, today is Wednesday. Richmond Manufacturing Index. I don't expect that to move the market today, but you could watch that at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, unemployment claims. Pending home sales, not much, and then Friday, Chicago PMI. So really not much there. Nothing that I think is going to really drastically move this market. But I would say tomorrow at 8:30 is probably the biggest event of the week, right? 8:30, Thursday, unemployment claims. It's probably your biggest one of the week. Pending home sales tomorrow at 10 as well. So today, the only thing you got is the Richmond Manufacturing Index. I don't expect that to be much. I always like looking at the ads, man. Up to $5,000 funding bonus. Open fund, and trade with IG. No idea what that is. All right, let's continue. So, let's go to the NASDAQ. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. Let's talk about the key thing that sort of happened on the intraday. So, first of all, yesterday we talked about the fact that we had to hold above these lows, right? We must hold above these lows for there to be upside continuation, and we did that, right? We never even tested it. We pushed higher, we maintained, and we never, this wall down here, this demand wall down here, held on very well. The 16,970 level held like a champ, and as long as we're above that level, right, we were going to move higher, and that is what you saw. Now, intraday yesterday, there was a very key level around this 17,045, and we're going to have to go a little bit closer in here because it was a shit show, right? At this level, it was a shit show all morning, and this was really the 410 level on the QQQ. So you can see we had this 17,045 high, right around that area. And, generally, the market tried to maintain above that level, right? We generally tried to maintain above that Friday high pretty much all day yesterday. And so I tried to take some longs in this area, right? Because that's really the right thing to do. The right thing was to go long as the market was maintaining above these highs, right? The market was maintaining above pre-market highs. It was maintaining above some of these Friday highs, right? You can see all these levels here, right here. All these levels were being maintained all day yesterday. So for me, right, it was like, all right, these levels are maintaining. I want to try to find some longs, but I just could not get something to really move, right? I was getting stuck in this. And then after my third trade, after realizing, hey, it's not working, I just stepped away, right? I just stepped away. So that was a big part of my day, right? The ability to step away, the ability to understand that I am not going to find a good trade in this area. Oh, you can't see the numbers, sorry. There you go. My bad. Move it over. And I'll move that. Hopefully that's not too shrunk. Yeah, all right. So, right, the ability for me to say, all right, it's not it, right? Today's not it, and I'm getting out of here, right? So that was key for me. After that, I said, get me out of here. So I took my loss, and I got stuck in this. And that's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. You're not going to, it's unavoidable. You are going to get stuck in chop. You are going to get sort of chopped up. It's part of trading. Now, before I move on, what's the key during that time? When that starts to happen, right? What is the key? The key is you need to step away. You need to have discipline. You need to understand that there's another day tomorrow to trade, and it's just not going to work, right? And that's sort of where I was yesterday. Now, today, right, you can see how much more clear this picture has become, right? You can see how much more clear this picture has become on the NASDAQ futures. You can see right here we have a previous high on the NASDAQ futures around that 17,065 level. And look at the hold this morning right above that high, right? That is clean. And so today, it's very obvious, right? If you're above this 17,065 level, oh, my battery is exhausted. Is this not plugged in? My camera just shut off, just so everyone knows. Desier, be right back. Plugging the camera in. All right, we're gonna have to go cameraless for like 5 minutes while it charges up. Sorry about that. All right. All right, so let the camera charge up a little bit, and we'll be right back with my face. But let's continue. So the hold, right? The hold above this 17,065, right? The hold above 17,065 is very key today. So I would say as long as that 1765 level turns into a demand today, you are looking for longs off this level, right? All day, no matter what. If we are above this zone, you are not shorting back into these highs, right? We are not looking to short back into this demand today, right? You do not want to do that. I don't think you want to look for a short back into these highs, this high, and that entire consolidation yesterday, right? So this is pretty strong stuff, right? This is a very bullish little formation going on here today, right? This is a very bullish formation going on here today. The break and hold above the previous highs here is very key. And I would say as long as the NASDAQ is above this 17,065, I would even give it, right? I'm giving it this entire zone. As long as the NASDAQ is above 1765 to 1745, I am looking for long entries, right? I would look for longs off 65, and I would also look for longs off 45, right? 45 is this high, 45 is this high, and 45 is this high from back here, right? And 45 was that area that held all day yesterday. So I'm looking for longs at 1765 and 1745. Time to pray for Vincent needs a better. I'm having a fantastic day, Sherry. Don't you worry about me. Yeah. So that's my read today, right? And I want to be long. If I'm going to long this market, I want to be long as close to this area as possible, right? I don't want to be long here. I don't want to be long on a breakout. I don't want to be long on, 17.2 squeeze straight to the upside. I would want to be long as close to this demand as possible so that I could, have a healthy entry down here, know that my entry is at demand, and then take advantage of any push off of it. So, new stair step, correct? GT, new step up. This is a new stair step higher, right? You are trying to form a new stair right here. This was your previous stair, right? And you're trying to make that new stair step higher. You can see it right there. This was your previous stair that held. We're breaking the previous stair high. We're trying to turn that next stair into a nice low here, right? Very nice. It's clean stuff, man. It's very clean stuff. And this market, like I made a video like 3 weeks ago, this market will continue to go higher as long as this starts to happen, right? Or continues to happen. This market is not going to go down if we continue to turn previous lows or previous highs into new lows. It's not, right? It's just the market structure. It is not going to go down if we continue to make new highs and the previous highs turning into new lows. If this formation continues to happen, we will continue to move higher. So 17,065, 17,045, that's your demand. And then if you break under that, if you do get a break of that today, right, you're probably going to move back to this demand. And that's the demand that held all right here. And that is 16,970. Okay? All right. Let's go to the QQQ. QQQ is exactly the same, and it is just as pretty on the QQQ here. You can see right here. You have this previous high that is holding all right here around that 410.65 today. 410.60. I'm sorry, 65, but also like 410.50. This entire zone, it's really, to be quite honest, it is really all of this. It's all between 410 and 410.50 is really the demand that I'm watching. Very similar to that NASDAQ idea. So pretty much anywhere between these highs, right? Anywhere in this area is where I'm going to be looking for those pullbacks and those longs, right? Anywhere in this area down to 410 is where I'd be looking for those longs on the QQQ today. You can see all morning today, we are perfectly holding above this previous high and above yesterday's highs, right? Very, very clear. So 410.50, 410 yesterday, you can see we had a really interesting struggle at that 410 level. All right, if we go down to the 5-minute chart, this is that chop that you just continued to see all day. You had the Friday highs at 410, and you just had this sort of chop fest sort of grind through that area. I obviously was looking for that upside continuation off this demand, right? And I just did not get it. I was getting chopped up in this area. Eventually, you got the push, right? Eventually, you got the squeeze to the upside. I was just not around. That was 2 o'clock. I do not trade at 2 p.m. Eastern. So I was not able to take advantage of this squeeze. I tried that idea, which I'm happy about. I had the right idea, longing over this previous high, right? That's very clear. But I just was obviously stuck in this disaster in the intraday. So that's a day for me that I do not get upset about losing. I'm very happy to take my loss on a day like that, except, you had the right idea. The price action conditions were not ideal for your trading. Walk away, know that there's a better day. That's pretty much that's a synopsis of what it looked like for me yesterday. So 30-minute chart, right? You can very clearly see the 410, 410.50 demand that is holding perfectly this morning. That's it, right? If you hold above that, right? If you hold above this demand, you are moving higher. That's pretty much it. It's I'm not going to say 100%, but if you are above this high, you are going to move higher, right? That is just market structure. So see if we hold above that 410 today. If we do hold below that 410, right? If we break back below it, then you move lower, right? You move back into the 408. If you break back under 410, you move back into the 408. So 410's the day, or 410's the level. That's going to be the level. Are you above it? Are you below it? That's pretty much it. Are you above it for longs, or are you below 410 for shorts? That's really what I'm looking at. All right. Let's go to the ES. So S&P 500, what level were we talking about? What level were we screaming about all day yesterday? 48.20. 48.20, right? We were screaming about that 48.20 rejection, that we had some rejections back here, but most importantly, that rejection on Friday of last week. Look at how perfect you are holding above this 48.20 in the pre-market today. That's just as clean as it can possibly get, right? The fact that you are turning the Friday high at 48.20 into a demand all morning here, right? That 48.20, that is very, very clean. Very, very clean. And so as long as the ES is above 48.20, this market is going to attempt to move higher. 48.20 is very key today. If you break back below 48.20 and you turn Friday levels back into rejections, then that is where you're going to move lower. Back under 48.20, probably back down into that 48.08. Right? And that 48.08 was an important demand, important demand, important demand, and important demand. Right? So, very nice hold over 48.20. If you're above that level, you are going to try to move higher. That is a very key break and retest, right? Look at this, guys. Break and retest of this previous high right here, right? That's a break and retest of this high. So as long as you're above that, you're moving higher. The next level to watch, of course, is the ultimate highs here at 48.30. You can see the rejections, 48.30, 48.30 rejections in the pretty much late day, right? Late day, pretty much at close. And today is all about whether the ES can break and hold above 48.30, right? That's the key. If you can break and hold above 48.30 today, you are going to see the market move higher. 48.30, 48.20, you got yourself a nice 10-point range here on the ES, and you're going to want to see which side breaks out. Is it a break and hold above 48.30? Is it a break and hold below 48.20? Which side is it today? That's your key. Okay, pretty easy there on the ES. And the SPY. So the SPY, pretty much the same thing, right? You can start to see how clear technical analysis is at times. This is the previous highs right here, right? Around that 450 or 475.40. And look at how well we are just maintaining above that high today, right? You can see the SPY broke the Friday high. You can see that we are maintaining that Friday high all morning at 475.40. Right, that's clear. I want to try something here. You guys were saying that you can change the text on my screen. Look and feel, font size. Does that change the numbers? How's that look for you? Except that just messed up a lot of stuff on the screen, I'll tell you that. Just that little thing on the top right got messed up. Let's see if I can change that. Oops. Hold on. I can see now. Can you see the numbers now? All right. So, previous highs, new lows, right? Previous highs, new lows. Very key. Okay? Now, I think the extreme high here, or the high that needs to hold above, is 476. So today, I would be looking to see, can we turn 476 into a demand? Can we turn 476 into a demand? That's the key, right? That's the key. 476. 476. If you hold above 476, that is what I would be looking for. Okay? Mailed you, but I have not received it. All right, Mr. Mr. Keto, I will check that today. I'm blind as a bat. 476, right, on the SPY. 475.40, right? That's that Friday high. That's what I'd be watching. All right? All righty. Let's go to the Russell for the small cap boys, because the Russell is on a tear, and there's no denying that, so it is worth looking at. The Russell perfectly held above this previous high yesterday, right? Look at this. It pushed up. It held above that 2065, and the rip that came after that 2065 break was something of strength, man. It was big. So if we go to the hourly chart, actually, no, we got to go back. Oh, this is really zoomed in, huh? The level that I would be watching here today is 2090, right? 2090. So I'm going to delete some of this because it's starting to get a little messy over here. But 2090, right here, that high. This is from February 2nd. You have a 2090 supply on the Russell, on the RTY. So that's what I would be watching today, right here. 2090, big supply level. You need to break and hold above 2090 for some more upside on small caps. So if you're trading some small caps on this push, which actually I don't blame you because it has been a really nice trade, watch the 2090 supply. You need to get above that today, okay? Russell 2090. If you are long small caps, watch 2090. All right. Let's go to Tesla. Baby, baby, baby. We shall see. Is today the day that I get paid off? I hope it is. I hope it is. Could be a nice little Christmas gift. I've been long Tesla for pretty much 2 weeks, give or take, right? I've been in and out of positions, but overall holding for pretty much 2 weeks. Adding, reducing, taking profits, taking some small losses, right? Just sort of been in overall for like a week and a half now. And today I actually am in probably my largest position size into this morning. So I'm happy to see what I'm seeing right now. We need to hold above 258. We have to hold above 258 to start. 258, 258, 258, 258, 258, right? We need to hold above that 258 today. If Tesla can maintain over 258, I believe that you can start to get more momentum. If you can get and hold above 258, I believe you can start to see the actual push towards 260 again. But that is a must hold above 258. If we reject 258, right, if we start to see these rejections again today, this could lead to that downside again. There's no doubt, right? There's no doubt. If you start to get under that 258 again, this could absolutely lead to another rejection like you saw so many times before, right? Rejections, 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 move to the downside, rejections to the downside, right? Very possible. So in my opinion, you need, and I'm actually going to adjust this for a second. You need to hold over 258. This is a must maintain in my eyes today, right? If you can maintain over that, I think you can start to get something. If you look at this day over day, right? Look at this 2-minute chart day over day. You can see right now, this is yesterday's highs at 258. This morning, look at this little formation that you're getting on Tesla above 258. So what you really want to see into open today is a hold above this area. A hold above this area. If that happens, then I like that upside continuation. If that does not happen and you fall back below, right, and you start to reject, then it's time to be a little bit cautious there. All right? So 258 on Tesla, that's a big ass watch for me today. I want to see it maintain above. If it does not, you need to be careful of that supply. The big time level above is 260. All right? That's the big boy. 260 is the big boy above. All right? AMDs. AMDS. Holy hell, AMD's still going. All right, so why did I long AMD yesterday? There was a very clear reason. Why did I long AMD yesterday? So if I go to the 15-minute chart, this was what I was watching on AMD. AMD had a monster squeeze yesterday morning right off the 150 demand. 140 demand. We were talking about that 140. Let me see if my camera works so you can say hi. Let's see. Howdy. We saw that 140 big push off that 140 level, right? And we got just a monster squeeze, right? Monster squeeze on AMD right out of the gates. Can't catch that. I couldn't catch it. I missed it. And so what I was waiting for was, okay, there's a pullback coming in. Where's the pullback going to come down to? And where's that second entry? Because, I mean, most of the time after a big squeeze like this, there is a second entry. Sometimes it's just a push and a fade all day, which is, it happens on a weak market. But the fact that the market was the market was maintaining itself all day, right? And eventually it started to squeeze. It wasn't like the market was breaking down yesterday. So when I saw the market strength, I had a little confidence to say, all right, where is this second entry on AMD? Where is that entry that I want to take for that second leg higher? And it was right here, right? It was just a perfect retest of Friday highs. That's all it was, right? And so this is exactly where I took my longs. I said keeping tabs on this 141 AMD retest into end of day, right? And I said taking a stab here. Long 142, December 29th with a stop under 141. And that is exactly where I went long. And that was a sexy one. I mean, that was just a sexy one. So you can see break, retest, right? Even a little double bottom retest. That's beautiful to see, right there at the previous highs. And that was the entry point. And a big squeeze to end the day and a big squeeze this morning. Now, what is this level right here? This little 143.40 level. You see this level I have on my charts. Why is that on my charts? There's a reason for it, right? There is a reason for it. And it's right here on the 30-minute. So right here on the 30-minute, you guys can see we had a previous extreme wick high here. This is from Tuesday of last week. Tuesday of last week, AMD had a major push and a major rejection, right? There was no second entry long here. It actually just went straight up and straight down. And the high of that candle was around 143.40. And you can see, look at this morning. Right, there is a reason for every move in the market. And there is a reason why AMD is maintaining above this demand right here. There's a reason why AMD is starting to consolidate here and starting to push higher. It is because it is holding above this previous high. Right, that is very bullish. So if AMD is over 143.50, 143.40 today, it is going to try to move higher, right? Even if it pulls back, if it tries to hold here, that is a very interesting entry point around that 143.40, right? So watch that. That is very key. The next supply on AMD, in my opinion, really doesn't come in until around 147. So if I go back to this daily chart, I really don't see anything until around this 147 area. All this 147 rejections right there, I think that's probably your next level. 147, yeah, that's about it. Right, that's about it. It's like right here, these two rejections. You have a little bit of rejection here, wick there, right? You can see that 147 level was pretty important. So that's really my next major supply on AMD, right? That's really where I think the next, this move could start to move to is this 147 target. That would be my target on AMD to the upside. So watching 147 supply, that previous high here, 143.40, and of course that 141 demand that stepped in yesterday. All right, Nvidia. So Nvidia, big squeeze over 490 yesterday. Really couldn't catch it, right? It was pretty much just instant. If we go to the 2-minute chart, right, this is right out of the gates. So, I mean, I just don't catch these moves, right? I wish I could. I really do. But I just am not able to catch that type of a move. But if you did, awesome, right? That's a sweet trade, sweet squeeze, awesome upside. Now, after Nvidia sort of consolidated and sort of slowed down yesterday, it held this zone right here, right? That was a very nice zone hold. And where was it holding above? It was holding above this Friday high. So Nvidia yesterday, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Nvidia, 493, right? And look at how it held above that 493 all day yesterday. So 493, very important hold right there. If you maintain above 493 today, that could be another potential long entry right here at 493. So I would watch that 493 if we pull back to it. If we push to the upside, you have to be aware of the 496 supply, right? And this is exactly where we rejected yesterday. 496, 496. And so today, you're watching 496 supply. Do not be long into 496, right? If you chased Nvidia yesterday, if you said, holy shit, I have to chase Nvidia, it's going straight up, right? And you longed it right into 496 supply, well, you got smacked, right? You just got smacked. And so I would think of the same thing today. I would not want to be long if we're moving into 496, right? I would want to be long. Here's my two long spots on Nvidia. Here, right? Here's a long spot, or here, right? There's my second long. Those are my only two places that I would want to be long Nvidia. A break and hold over previous highs, right? Or a pullback to demand. On the downside, you could look for this supply rejection. However, with what I'm seeing on the market, I don't think I'd be short today. But if you really, really, really want to go against the trend, you could watch that 496 supply. Apple. So Apple has been sort of fading out, right? But I think there's a reason for it because I still believe, like I said yesterday, I still believe that Apple needs to come down to this 192 demand. I think Apple is just trying to retrace to a big demand, and that's around this 192. So it's been a pretty slow just selling, really nothingness on Apple. Just this really low volume nothingness of selling. Pretty much all day yesterday again. But I think it will wake up, right? I think it will wake up once it gets clear or gets close or starts to sniff, right? It just needs to sniff that 192. It's almost like I would think of it like smelling salts here on Apple. That would be my analogy for you. I think as Apple starts to get close to 192, the smelling salts will start to kick in, right? When you start to get close to these previous highs, these previous lows, and as Apple starts to approach this level, right, I think it's going to start to get a little bit juiced up. So I'm going to be watching this, right? I'm getting interested to see what Apple starts to do as it sort of fades to that 192 level. This is not bearish at all, in my opinion. This Apple downside, sure, it's been weak, sure, it's been moving lower, but this, to me, is nothing but a controlled pullback back into demand. And this is a major demand, right, at this 192. So I'm waiting for that move, right? I'm waiting for that move. That's going to be a key. Yeah, that's going to be the key, right? That's going to be the key. 192. So keeping an eye on that. Waiting to see if there's some juice off that 192. Yeah, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. All right. So that's Apple. That's really the only thing I can give you. I would just wait. Just wait. All right. What else do I want to look at? I want to look at Microsoft. So Microsoft, it tried its best. It tried to get through that 376 yesterday, but it just could not do it. Right? It could not do it. We'll go to the 2-minute chart here. Microsoft, right here. It broke that 376, right? You can see right here, it broke the 376. It started to put in some wicks, right? And I took some longs here and ended up losing on Microsoft because I actually really liked, which I would probably take this again in hindsight, right? I would take this trade 10 out of 10 times. I was seeing some really nice wicks right here. These two wicks right here. These two wicks right here got me very interested in the potential for a break and retest long, right? That was a very interesting trade for me. And the reason for that is, right, these two wicks were really showing some buying pressure there. They did end red, right? But I was starting to see the Microsoft get bought up as it moved down into that 376. So I was interested, right? I was interested to see if I could long this thing and get a push off that 376 on a little break and retest. However, looks like that level was just too strong, took my loss on Microsoft, and unfortunate. But, right, a trade that I would look for again. If that trade presented itself again, right, I would look for the same damn thing. I would look for a 376 break and retest, right? That's the same thing I'd look for again if Microsoft moves to the upside today. And so Microsoft, what it did yesterday after pulling back, it actually held a pretty nice level here. This 374 demand, a really nice hold at that 374, right? You can see right here, 374, 374, 374, 374, 374. 20 SMA right below it, right? Holding that 20 SMA very nicely. So in my eyes, as long as Microsoft, and I'm actually going to move this down. I'm going to move this down to the 20 SMA. I'm going to move it down to there. As long as Microsoft is above that 20 SMA, I think it will try to maintain here, eventually trying that 376 again. But you got to be a little bit cautious at that 376, right? It tripped me up yesterday. It got a rejection there previously last Wednesday, so that's a big wall up there. Just be careful at that 376, all right? All right. Let's go to Coinbase, because Coinbase has been hot. And again yesterday, man, it just did something of pure beauty, right? Again yesterday, Coinbase pulled back, right here, pulled back to these previous highs and previous lows and held again, right? Look at that hold on Coinbase. What did we talk about on this live stream? Was it earlier or was it last week? We said, how do you enter Coinbase long? You look for pullbacks to previous highs, right? Pullbacks to previous highs. That's where we look for longs. Where are the pullbacks to previous highs on Coinbase, right? Where are those long entries? And so, previous highs, long entry, pullback, right? Previous highs, long entry, pullback, right? And that's what you continue to look for, and it did it again. So today, I'd be watching 173 demand. I'd be watching 169 demand, right? I'd look for longs off those levels, pullback long, I'd look for those. Or, right, if Coinbase gets over 178, 179, you look for the longs off the previous highs, right? So that's how I would be looking at Coinbase. This is pretty much a no trade zone for me, right? I would not be trading Coinbase in here. I would be looking for Coinbase to get above, right? Or pull back to demand, right? I'd look for these entries here or here, right? I would not want to be playing around inside this box. So 179, 173, 168, 169, all right? Very nice hold yesterday on Coinbase there. Very nice, right? Look at that pullback right into those previous lows, and look at that demand hold and the upside this morning. So that's what I'd be watching, 173, 169, 179, all right? Amazon, pretty much, I mean, it rejected our 154 level, but pretty much stayed sideways again. I would say just sit this one out, wait for Amazon to try to get above or below, right? Those are the two things I'd look for there, 154, 153 area. Google, what did Google end up doing yesterday? Okay, so Google failed to hold above 143. That's going to be key. So be a little bit cautious there. All right, you can see Google is back under that 143 level. So I don't love that. You want to see Google back over 143 for longs. Meta, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Meta with a little 355 hold this morning. Interesting. All right, so keep an eye on that 355 on Meta there. If Meta's over that 355, potentially some upside. It looks like you do need to be careful of that 357 though, right? It looks like you do need to be careful of that 357 up here. You can see the little rejection on Meta at 357. So I would look for longs off the 355 into the 357, but I'd be careful of longs at 357. If you want to take another long, you look for the break and hold above 357 for that upside. Yesterday, I think some of you guys caught this one yesterday. A beautiful, I think it was this candle right here that you guys entered in the chat. This long right here on Meta. This little long off the 355 retest hold. That was a nice little long on Meta. Again right here, 355, another entry. So there were entries here at 355 on Meta yesterday. Maybe a little entry there for a little long on Meta. Obviously that one ultimately failed. But again, you can see today, 355. Trying to hold on. Watch that on Meta. Oh, I need to show you guys Roku because this thing might be coming back for vengeance. 96 on Roku is big. It's big time. If Roku holds above 96 today, I can't promise that I'm not going to put some potential risk on this and maybe lose on it again. I'm not going to lie. Roku might sucker me in again. But if we get over 96 today, if we turn this low and these highs back into a support today, over 96, I'm going to look for that long entry. Because I possibly, right, still believe that longer term idea is valid on this pullback. But you need to be over 96, right? You got to be over 96. So I'm going to wait to see if Roku can reclaim that 96 level, right? It's not very clean yet. But if we can get over that 96, that is possibly a hold back above these highs. And that could be interesting. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It's not even 700 likes, huh? Damn, man. I'm going to have to really start spamming the ads. Netflix, last one before we head out. If you guys could, take a second, press that like button. I would appreciate that. Please help me out. Netflix, last one before we go. This is a very interesting hold. I would pay attention to this Netflix hold. You are holding above previous highs here. Netflix continues to maintain above that 480. You can really, it's really possibly like 485. But I like 483. 485 to 483. You can see the maintain above this level. That is very important. So pay attention to that. All right, running an ad because we can't press the like button, not even after an hour of time. All right, let's do the futures one more time. Let's take a look at it. You guys can see right here. Here's the NASDAQ, right? We're watching the 1765 to 1745 previous highs, right? That Friday high, looking to see if that holds as demand. That's very key. On the ES, we are watching the 48.20 demand and the 48.30 supply, right? A 10-point range on the ES. We have to see which side that breaks out of. All right? All right, guys. If you could, press that like button for me. If we can get to 1,000 likes, that would be much appreciated. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy the live stream. I hope that prepares you for the trading day. Be careful of the same thing as yesterday, right? Be careful of the slower action. Be careful of the slower momentum, the sort of choppy action. It's very possible again. It's still a holiday weekend. It's Wednesday. It's still a holiday weekend. Be aware of it, right? If you start to see that chop like you saw yesterday, walk away. If you start to get a little bit of struggle trying to find an entry, if you feel like you're not seeing things right, walk away. Right? It's possible. No one is holding you down to this chair. No one is making you risk money in the market. Okay? If you start to feel like you're not reading things right, after taking 3 losses yesterday, I definitely didn't feel right. You can tell inside if you're reading things correctly. Right? You have to listen to yourself. I knew this was not clear for me, right? Yesterday, I looked at the market. I said, I'm not really getting a good read here, and I should not be putting on more risk. You have to be able to do it. Think about those things intraday. Make the right decisions. Control your decisions, man. Do not let your body, do not let your emotions start controlling your fingers. Control your emotions. Control your decisions intraday. I hope that helps someone out there. At least all I need to do is help one person, man. That's it. All right, guys. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.